Hey guys, I want to talk about two reasons why people are drawn to Western medicine. And now, again, I'll keep saying this in all my videos. There's no right or wrong, okay? I'm going to be talking a lot about new paradigms that people are just starting to or haven't really stepped into before. The current Western medicine, scalpel and drug paradigm of health is a paradigm. It's one way of going about feeling better. It's one way about managing disease. Again, there's no right or wrong with that, but that's been presented to most people or in people's most conscious awareness of the only way to handle health. Any kind of Eastern medicine, most people really don't have any familiarity with at all. Most people think when they get some kind of disease or virus, the best way to go about it is to do what the doctor who has studied, 4 years of undergrad and then, 4+ years of MD work tells you to do. Or if you get cancer, that you need to get chemo, or if you, et cetera, et cetera. But there's other ways that we're going to be really starting to step into moving forward. And two of the reasons that people gravitate towards Western medicine as we know it today, and when I refer to Western medicine, I refer to the healthcare system that is really, we've been seeing exert control on things the last year and a half. These two reasons why people flock to it are, number one, people are afraid of their body sensations. We've made them bad, we've made them really wrong, and people were under the belief that if we don't do anything about certain things in our body, again, this could be a rash, acne, disease, any uncomfortable sensation, pain in the body, then that thing is going to get worse and worse and worse. So we better act now. That's number one. And then number two is much more subconscious. Number two is you actually know that something in your life needs to change, whether it's your job, whether it's, schooling, whether it's the way you make money, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your ways of being, you stress yourself out, you're doing too much, whether it's the way that you work out, something needs to change in your life. And deep down, you know it. But what your body does is kind of subconsciously deny that a change needs to be made. So even though a change needs to be made, you deny it. That doesn't mean that your body's not going to try and alert you that a change still needs to be made. So what's going to happen is dis-ease is going to start building up in the body. It's just stuck energy. Dis-ease is energy you're not dealing with. Something needs to change. So you go to a doctor and you project what you already know onto the doctor. Tell me what's wrong with me. That's what we do. And this is very subconscious. But this is what we do. And the doctor usually doesn't know what's wrong with you because doctors are taught to prescribe you pharmaceutical drugs for the most part and not to attune to your emotional body and to your physical body, which is the root of all disease. So again, you go to the doctor trying to get that that knowingness that you know deep within yourself, but you're projecting it to an external source, and you're really just prolonging the inevitable. People cling to Western medicine because they're prolonging making the change in their life. It's really a bypassing tool. It's really a resistant modality to not have to make that change in your life that you know that you eventually need to make. And again, eventually you'll get there. Eventually people realize that what they're trying to ignore is unignorable. Like that relationship they need to deal with, that job they need to eventually quit or find a different way to do it in a less stressful way. They're going to have to deal with it. And that's why, the paradigm that I'm in and that many others are going to be stepping into of a more holistic way towards medicine is so much more freeing, because eventually, again, even if you're taking all of these pharmaceutical drugs, and again, that's a paradigm, and if you believe in it, great, there's nothing wrong with that. But eventually, for most people, it's going to catch up with you, because it's just delaying that inevitable resistance. It's just delaying that thing that you need to look at in your life, and eventually it's still going to come up, right? If it's not going to come up in one way, it's going to come up in another way. There's no denying it. There's no bypassing it. There's no numbing it out. Eventually, the energy that's stuck within you that's causing the disease, which is causing the stress, it needs to come up, because it wants to be looked at and cleared. It wants to be let go of. But currently, the medical system at B doesn't honor that natural process of the body. It really, in many cases, goes in the opposite direction and numbs you out and suppresses and pushes down what wants to be looked at, which is trauma, which is energy stuck in the body, which is, when looked at, leaves, and the disease is gone, and your body's again in a restorative state of ease. So again, I understand, and again, for many years I played in and I was clinging to and attracted to the Western medicine system, because when you're feeling, number one, uncomfortable sensations of the body, or number two, you don't think that you know what's wrong with you, of course the promise and the marketing of, oh, you get to feel better and we know what's wrong with you, we know what's best for you, we know the cure, that's very alluring, that's very comforting. Kind of in very similar terms to like watching the news. Many of us feel so much safety in going to the doctor or watching the news, because we've been programmed to think, oh, this is relief, they're helping me, and from one level the pain can go away, but if we're in the long game of really stepping into what true health looks like and what true sovereignty and peace and ease looks like, we get to question these things, and we get to question, number one, is this sensation in my body, this uncomfortable sensation, actually going to get worse and worse and worse if I don't do what this person who went to school for many years, that actually may not have my best interest at heart, but they don't even know that they don't have my best interest at heart. If I don't do what they say, is this sensation in my body actually going to get worse? Maybe not. Maybe not. And if I keep telling myself, oh, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I know something's wrong with me, do I actually not know what's wrong with me? Or do deep down, again, if I take a few deep breaths and sit still with myself, do I actually know what is wrong with me? Not even wrong with you, but what needs to change in my life? What stressors, what circumstances, what relationships, jobs, money stuff needs to be looked at and to be changed. I hope this helps. Don't be afraid. We've been programmed to be in such fear of our bodies, of these beautiful bodies that we're in right now. To be so worried, to act now, to act fast, or it's going to get worse, because we don't know what to do, because we didn't go to school and learn the Rockefeller medicine program, that we're going to be doomed if we don't give our power away. And again, if you're playing in these, beautiful. And if they work for you, keep doing them. But for many people, they're not going to be working anymore, because the heat in the kitchen's being turned up, and the lack of attunement and the lack of understanding of the emotional body in the medical system is going to come to the surface more and more and more and more. And people are going to start to make the connection between their emotional states and all disease in your body. It's not just, oh, well, yeah, of course you're feeling maybe that. No, it's literally everything. If you have no disharmony in your body, you ain't getting disease. That's the thing. They want you to think it's a Russian roulette, because that's what keeps you glued. That's what keeps you coming back. That's what keeps the fear and the worry alive. You see? If people didn't operate in fear or worry, the medical system as we know it now collapse. If people trusted their bodies and their innate knowingness of what they need to do in their life to move towards states of ease, which is our natural trajectory, which is our natural state of expansion towards more and more health. Like most people have no idea the amount of health available to them. I'll do a whole other video on the illusion of getting older and getting sicker in old age. That's a paradigm. That's another video. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.